What is going on? Savage here. I hope you're doing good in Warzone. I hope that you're getting more wins. If you guys are tired of getting third-partied, if you guys are tired of getting outshot, if you guys are tired of losing gunfights no matter how many times you hit them in the face, stick around for this video, because in this video series we'll be breaking down some viewer submitted gameplay in which I'll be discussing how to properly rotate circles to avoid being third-partied, as well as covering how to engage in gunfights efficiently. But before we get into the video, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel, join the wolf pack today, and also leave a like on the video. Let's get this video to 600 likes. And if you guys are tired of playing by yourself or tired of playing with randoms, make sure you join our Discord community. It does nothing for me, it's purely community based, but this gives you guys an opportunity to look for groups using our LFG pages and find some teammates that you can regularly play with, get in sync with, and hopefully make some friends and get some wins. But anyway, guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into the video. All right, right now we're spectating Killerman Sam going to Titties. He's going to be dropping right at Titties. This isn't a bad drop right off the dump because you do have a lot of buildings and silos as well that you can get loot on top of. However, the only reason I'm not a huge fan of this is because you are between apartments and hangars, which both will have line of sights on you. So if an enemy does spot you looting on top of silos, which you're pretty vulnerable because you're out there looting on top of something, right? But if an enemy does spot you and then you need to rotate towards them, they'll have the advantage on you and you'll have to cross two open paths in order to go to the next location. But I've landed here many times. This isn't a terrible spot. It's just one that I try to avoid because of the open areas around it. Also, there's no objectives or a buy station here. If there would have been a buy station here and you had looted it, because you could possibly find 10 grand here, but if there was a buy station, that'd be fine. You go ahead and buy your loadout and then get your gear, and then you can try to contest people when you're pushing them. But because you don't have a buy station here, because you don't have an objective, it's going to be very, very risky to push hangars or apartments. All right, there is 2 more parachutes popping next to you, maybe even more than that. You already got your gun. Instantly look around, find the enemies right in front of you. All right, here we are. We're almost finished looting this area, and we really haven't found too much of anything yet. There are 2 main things you need to focus on when you're trying to pick a landing spot. One being kills. Where can you go to get the most kills out of the game, right? That would be your superstore hot droppers. That'll be your downtown hot droppers. That'll be your main areas. We'll get back to that in a second. All right, in this position here, you got a guy on top of the silo next to you. He's at the high ground. He didn't see you. He doesn't see you. You could have shot and got the kill if you wouldn't have hesitated, but since we've already passed that threshold, at this point, just climb up the silo you're next to now, pray to God he doesn't see you, and then shoot him. The only reason why I would say climb up the side is because he's pretty unaware of his surroundings. The fact that he was climbing up the ladder, never looked to his left, never looked to his right, and then went up top and never scanned around. He's pretty unattentive. So at that point, I would go ahead and climb up the ladder and take him out. The purpose of these gunfights is to try not to lose the enemy's location. That's something I was trying to focus on in yesterday's video. When you guys spot an enemy, you want to go ahead and take him out fast before he has a chance to rotate, before he has a chance to leave the area, before he has a chance to come up with an outplay on you. All right, I like the high ground position right here. This is definitely the spot. Definitely the spot. All right, now we're in a position where he's under you, and he's probably going to hear your footsteps, right? Rip. All right, just like I said earlier, getting shot from hangars. That's where a sniper shot came from. All right, let's talk about this fight right now. Let's talk about you versus the enemy's position. Your position is pretty out there, right? You have Burger Town and the green roof to your left that you're very exposed to. Because it's so early in the game, I would definitely recommend not exposing yourself to that side, because people are always over there this early in the game. Now, you have the hill behind you you're also exposed to as well, but because no one's ever on the hill this early in the game, I really wouldn't worry about that. Now, as far as cover, you really don't have much. If you get shot at, you can go through the door on your right, which is awesome. But this game's time to kill is so fast. If he's accurate with his shots and you get shot at, by the time you try to run to the door, you'll die. Same thing with backing up. If you get shot at, most people back up. Well, when you back up, your movement's a lot slower than when you're running or sidestepping, right? So when you go to back up, you just put your head in a vulnerable position because he's just going to follow it down the stairs. So cover-wise, I think you're a lot worse off than the enemy is. If you look at the enemy's cover, he's got a whole building, right? He's got a whole room. I just saw his shadow in the window, but if he shot at him, all he's got to do is go prone, sidestep, go back down the stairs, come up, climb up on top and get a better position. He can do so much more with this building and out rotating you and outplaying you than you can do with this building. So in this fight right here, I would highly recommend just go ahead and pushing in. I never would have jumped off this building in the first place. Once the enemy was under me, I would have jumped off the top floor onto the second floor, right where that ladder is, gone into the doorway and watched the staircase. What you don't want to do is leave the high ground and allow the enemy to get the high ground. Granted, yes, you're both on the second floor, but again, his building is a lot safer than yours is, in my opinion. All right, and as I was saying, guys, and I wanted to give you guys some live tutorials, but basically in this situation, when he was on the high ground, the enemy was under us, and we knew he was under us, you wanted to jump off, come in through the doorway, and then you want to watch the staircase, right? You want to make sure you remain on the high ground. The thing you don't want to do in that position is, one, leave the building altogether like he did, or even, let's see if I can get back up, or even jumping down, because the moment we jump down, he's probably already rotating up the staircase, and guess what? Now we're on the low ground and we're in an unfortunate position. I don't like pushing the staircase for multiple reasons. As you're walking up, you've got to see this area, and also you've got to be able to scan over here because your head is vulnerable in this point right here. So if you sit in this corner, you're dead. If you sit in this corner, you're dead. If you sit in this corner, you're dead. If he's sitting right there, you're dead. If he's just watching you right here on this corner, you're dead. So this right here is a very unfortunate position. That's why I wouldn't come up from the bottom. I would go up from the top, right? I would go up and make sure that I'm on the high ground at all times. Make sure that you're always keeping yourself on the high ground in positions where you have to. Because right here, now he's in the position where he's got to watch all the ways. Make sure your laser isn't vulnerable. If you put your laser right there, he'll be able to see it. He knows you're pre-aiming. If you hide your laser, he can't see it, and then you just flick and get some shots off, right? Very, very easy. Just small things like that that people don't take into account while they're in the middle of a fight will literally drastically change your gameplay if you're consciously aware of it in the middle of a fight. A lot of people, when they watch these videos, they sit here and they watch the tips and they're like, well, this is pretty common stuff. Psh, I'm out. And then they end up submitting gameplay, or they end up playing again, and they're just making the same damn mistakes that I'm trying to tell you guys not to make. Make sure you not only know what to do, but make sure you're practicing it in the middle of the gunfight. Because in the middle of the fight, most players go off muscle memory. They're not really thinking too much about it. So if you're not one to think while you're fighting, make sure you're just practicing it so it becomes muscle memory. Whoo! All right, that was scary. That was a scary one right there. But we got the kill. We killed the enemy. Good stuff, brother. All right, now that we won the fight, it's time to make a decision. Do you want to go hangars? Do you want to rotate to... Or do you want to rotate to apartments to your left, or even superstore to your west, right? Honestly, I'm not against you picking this fight. You definitely want to fight the people that you're aware of, and we're aware of the enemy being here because he shot at you and he put himself on the minimap. So we know there's people here. We can assume there's people at the apartments, but we know there's people here. We know to a general direction. So I would say, as I always say, go ahead and push the enemies where you know their location. Plus, they're in a fight. It's a perfect opportunity to third party, and they really need to add a ladder on the back of this building. I think that'd be way better. Normally I wouldn't recommend crouch walking, but because this guy is in a fight, I definitely am not against this. You could literally just shock the shit out of him. Don't execute him. Don't do it. Don't do it. You dirty girl. All right, now we got to find the guy he was shooting at. I don't see him. I don't see him. I will say I got it. Oh, someone's coming up the stairs. Right? I think. What sounds like? All right. So whenever I'm in a building like this and I hear a door bust in, like the enemy just busted in through the north side door, right? I would instantly rotate off the roof and come in behind him. Enemies don't expect that. When people are clearing the staircases, just like our dude Killer Man was, you're always looking up, right? A lot of people in this game don't have directional based headsets. They just hear footsteps, but they can't tell what direction it's coming from. So if you jump off the roof, you can really abuse that system because they'll hear footsteps, but they're going to think you're up top because they just came in from the bottom. So if you jump off the top of the roof and you go down through the front door, you can literally come up behind them and scare the shit out of them and absolutely probably execute him too. Holds like this are very dangerous because if the guy is accurate with his shots, he could really win a fight pretty easily. Because all that's exposed is your head, and aim assist is strong in this game. All right, but because the position the enemy's in right now, and because the position we're in, I definitely would not recommend jumping off at this point, even though we had just discussed it, because it's too late for that. The enemy's already worked his way up to basically your level. He wasn't all the way up top yet, but he was going towards the top. So now we're in a position where he's at the high ground, and you've got to push up to him, which isn't a bad fight. It's not like this is an impossible push. This is a very probable fight. You just got to be very careful how you push this. All right, the enemy's completely unaware. I do like the fact that you're hip firing. A lot of people try to ADS way too much, especially in close range combat, and it really just, you know, it's a little too much when you're that close. So definitely utilize the hip fire when you're using an SMG or anything for that matter if you're that close to the enemy. All right, now we got $12,000 and ready to go buy. And I love this soundtrack, bro. Love it. See what kind of class is gonna rock. See if you on a sniper. He's got the Kilo and the MP5, one of my favorite setups. Period. Period. All right, when it comes to loadout drops that are like this, just go for it. Honestly, just go for it, because the longer that you sit here waiting to see if it's clear, the more time enemies have to, you know, make their way to this position. Your loadout's not the only one there, so there is another enemy around here, but again, like I said, just go ahead and go for it and use the boxes as cover if you need to. The box is relatively close to the plane, which you could rotate to if you get shot at, and then you could fall back to other areas as well. It's not very vulnerable. It's a little bit out there, but it's not an impossible push. At this point, you could have already picked it up and had your ghost class and could be heading out. Now, if you're baiting it, that's a whole different scenario, right? But I don't like the fact that you're baiting it right here, if that's your plan, because again, you're pretty exposed to everything to your north-hand side. And again, this game comes down to time management. If you guys are trying to increase your kills, you want to bait it, but don't want to bait it for too long, right? You don't want to sit here for too long. I'd say 30 seconds at most. If nobody comes, they're probably not coming, so you just kind of waste your time. Now, this is a better baiting position for sure. For sure. But again, I think we've been here a little too long. I think we should either A, go ahead and grab our ghost class, or B, just bail out and go to the next objective, the next fight, or focus on circle positioning. The problem with waiting this long, if he does end up going for the loadout drop, like I said, at that point, there's probably an enemy baiting it as well. All right, there are shots going off to the east. The distance on gunshots kind of varies. Sometimes the audio is on point. Sometimes it sounds like they're really close, and they're all the way at TV station. So you can't really rely on audio when it comes to gunshots too often, especially when you're deciding what fight to push, because they could be further than you think. All right, we're rocking 4 kills, and we've been sitting on 4 kills for about 3 minutes now, and we're still focused on this loadout drop. All right, at this point, it's been a little too long. I don't like the fact, it looks like he's about to go for it. Let's see if he does before I start talking about it. At this point, I don't like this, right? We've waited so long to get our loadout. There's a couple red flags that are shaking me right now. One, we're on the edge of the circle. People will be rotating into hangars. We've waited so long, we've given people ample amount of opportunity to rotate to position and get a better position than us. Two, there are 2 loadout drops right there in front of you. Clearly, there's an enemy nearby somewhere, and because they're not going for theirs either, leads me to believe that they're baiting as well. There's so many places they could shoot you from. This is a very dangerous push at this point. If you would have gone right off the bat, you could have made it to the loadout drop before the other enemy could have got a position to gatekeep it or bait it as well, right? You don't really want to wait this long to get your loadout drop if there's multiple loadout drops around, or if it's on the edge of the circle, or if it's in a hot area, because you could get third-party gate kept or picked. Oh, I was just about to say you're safe. He's in the trailer in front of you. He's in the building in front of you. All right, you're in an unfortunate position. Oh, good shit, brother. I was gonna say you're in an unfortunate position, but because you have the box, you can outplay it with the Kar 98 for sure. And nice, dude, nice, very nice. All right, here we are making our way back to the buy station. I assume we have $8,900. We have an ATV. Well, let's see what he ends up pulling off here.
Enemy UAV overhead.
All right, regardless of the fight going really well, though, again, I do think it's a little bit waste of time. As I said in the video yesterday when I was spectating Baltimore, you guys, if you played a little bit more aggressive, y'all could legitimately drop a 20-bomb game. And Baltimore literally hit me up with a DM last night, said he took my advice, played it a game, and he ended up dropping a 20-kill game, which is absolutely amazing. When it comes to you guys getting better, honestly, if you just focused on fighting fast, time management, I'm not going to judge you for that, dude, because C4 now, they ruined C4, so I'm not going to say anything. But if you guys focus on time management and winning gunfights that fast, basically whenever you saw an enemy, instead of sitting there waiting 3 minutes to get an outplay, if you're able to kill him that fast, imagine how many kills you can get, right? Imagine how many kills you can get if you killed everybody that efficiently. Instead of playing the slow game and crouch walking up the stairs and, you know, sitting here baiting the box, things like that. You want to start limiting the amount of time you're utilizing for a gunfight. All right, but we're sitting on 6 kills and we're sitting really pretty when it comes to money. $18,000. This position in the game, dude, you've got everything you need. Go ahead and advanced UAV is definitely a great tactic to utilize. Gas mask as well, since you have the extra money. All right, so let's talk about the circle. Let's talk about this next circle, right? Well, who do you push? Savage, who do you push? Well, as you can see, most of the enemies are already on the edge of the circle. As I always tell you guys, people love hugging the edge for multiple reasons. So all these guys are preparing to gatekeep. You appear to be alone in hangars, so that's good. At this point, you know, try to determine where the circle is going to go. So when most people look at this circle, they're going to pick the closest enemies to go to, right? And they're going to pick this one because he's the closest enemy, and that's absolutely fine. I'm not against this pick at all. However, when you do finish killing these guys, instead of rotating upwards, which is what most people would end up doing afterwards, I would rotate to the south for multiple reasons. One, the circle is going to hug the south side of Dam for sure, because legitimately only 20% of the circle is actually on the north side of Dam. So I definitely assume that the circle is going to finish down here. So if you rotate to the north after you get these kills, the problem is you're going to have to keep trying to catch up with the circle, and all of these guys who are sitting on buildings and things like that will be in a position to gatekeep you. So it's saying that, again, you can go kill these guys fast for sure because they're close to you and they're relatively close. Take the ATV, go over there and fight them, get 2 kills, awesome. But then I would definitely rotate to the south, not just for circle position, but because that's where the majority of players are, right? You want to start fighting the most players you can. Also, there are 9 enemies sitting on the edge of the circle and a lot more basically on the edge as well, right? So you can definitely come down here and just kill one after another, after another, after another. And then, of course, utilizing the UAV technique where you get a kill, you get their money, go ahead and buy UAV, pop it up, tells you where the next closest one is, and you keep going after that. All right, here we are off to get the kills. Unfortunately, homeboy up here that we're about to hawk down has already gotten a kill. Right, he's very vulnerable right there. I love the fact that you're utilizing the vehicle as cover. Now, GG. Now, let's talk about what the enemy did wrong. Let's focus on the enemy because he did something really wrong. He was sniping in the open with no cover. So if he got shot at, he can't go prone. He can't sidestep behind cover. He can't do anything. He's just a sitting duck. Also, when he went down, also they had self-res, bro. But guess what? Because you went down in the open, self-res did nothing. So if you guys are getting in gunfights and not utilizing cover, you're wasting money buying self-reses because when you go down, guess what? They're going to execute you. So make sure you're near cover whenever you get in a gunfight. Even if you're running out in the open trying to get somewhere and then you see an enemy, just before you start shooting, before you scope in, run to cover, change your position, and then get in a fight. Don't fight out in the open if you don't have to. Granted, there are some scenarios where you're running out and they're just beaming the shit out of you and you've got to turn on them and get a snap. But if they don't shoot at you first, make sure you get better position before you start engaging in a gunfight. Otherwise, you end up like that dude right there. Especially when it comes to sniping, man. I really feel like I need to make a how to snipe tutorial because I feel like most players are struggling more on positioning than they are actually accuracy and aim. This game's relatively easy to snipe in. It's probably one of the easier games to snipe in, I think, out of any Call of Duty ever. All right, here we are going to the buy station. We're sitting on $8,900 again, and we're gonna buy some UAVs and hawk down some bitches. I love it, dude. I love it. This is an easy double-digit kill game. Now, as a vehicle coming in, you got the C4. Be careful with the C4 because they did nerf the C4. That's the second time I've seen you do this. So when a vehicle's coming at you, you want to try to lead the vehicle when you're throwing C4. Granted, I'm not going to judge you because they just changed the way to throw C4. Made it a lot more of a pain in the ass. But instead of throwing the C4 at the vehicle, unless he's coming straight at you, I kind of you could kind of tell he was about to turn, so I would have instantly turned and whipped the C4 to the way he was going, and then hopefully got the kill. But it's all right. All right, I want you guys to notice something. This is for everybody, and this is no hate, no shade at all. I just want you guys to be aware of your aiming. I want you guys to be aware of your accuracy, and I want you guys to be aware of your sensitivity. Now, I haven't really noticed this when you're fighting people. This is mostly when you're just shooting at a vehicle. But if you notice when he's shooting, he's locked on the enemy now. But when he starts to track the vehicle, he overshoots it a lot, right? Look how far he overshot it. And then when he tries to track back to the vehicle, he overshoots again. Every time the crosshair loses the enemy, he tries to track it and he overshoots the vehicle. That all comes down to your ADS sensitivity. Granted, again, you really haven't struggled with this in gunfights against people, close range or long range, but I can just tell by tracking the vehicle, it should be turned down a little bit. So I highly recommend turning down your ADS sensitivity settings and just trying to tweak it, because the point of that is to have smooth movement. You want to be able to track targets, whether it's vehicles, whether it's people, extremely smoothly. That way you can have consistent shots. If you're just relying on being able to flick to them back and forth, you're going to struggle a lot, because you're going to be going up against people who can actually track smoothly and efficiently against you, and they're going to shit on your face. All right, but the vehicle's gone at this point, and you're sitting out in the open. You're sitting out in the middle of the airfield, completely exposed, trying to shoot at a vehicle that's gone. I understand you broke his armor. I understand you want the kill, but I don't think the risk is worth the reward. He's really far gone right now for that kilo to be able to hit the shots. So I would just go on and buy the UAV and get the hell out of this area.
We got recon online.
This is Falcon 3-0. Good copy. Beginning flyover.
But I love the aggression. I love the fact that you're utilizing the UAV technique. Is he in the open?
Turning to lead the flight.
Yeah. You would have been able to splat that guy, but I would have lost my shit. Ooh. All right, so we know there's people here. Of course, there's 3 people on UAV. Hey, you got the kill. Holy shit, what an angle, bro. What an angle. I did not think that was going to happen, to be honest. So we know there's people here. You hard check you hard check this area real bad with them goggles, dude. That was very ballsy. He almost killed you. If he would have just hit one more bullet, that would have been it. In that situation, what I do is just quickly round the corner, call in the airstrike, and then call it what it is. I wouldn't have used the airstrike. I would have just tried to outshoot him. We knew who's on our level. We knew there's multiple people on our level. I would have saved the airstrike for the guy in the tower, but it is what it is. The guy ended up dying, which is surprising. I can't believe the Warthogs had an angle at that, to be honest. What a tight squeeze. This dude's next to you, apparently. Now, there's a second floor. Don't be that guy. You want to know what that guy did wrong? Everything. Holy shit, man. Somebody hired that man to file their taxes. Goddamn. All right. Pushing up the tower. Don't. Just leave. It's time to move on. Time to go to another spot. You don't want to fuck with that. I promise you that. You do not want to mess with the tower guy. Go ahead, head out, go to the bounty, go to the buy station next to you, get UAV, do whatever you want to do, hunt down somebody else. I'd get out of this area immediately and start focusing on not only rotation, but getting another kill. We know that he's here. There's no more reason for heartbeat. It's time to get out of here. Let's go. I tell you guys not to overstay your welcome, not only because I don't want people to push you, but also because I want you to get more kills. The longer you sit here, the more time you're wasting, right? And you also have a vehicle that you could utilize to get to that bounty, which is what I would do. I'm not a huge fan. I'm not a huge fan of you crossing the open, especially when you're shooting and the tower's behind you and has an easy shot on you. So if you end up crossing to the bounty and this guy's just watching, the sniper in the tower could take you out relatively easy. I don't think going for the bounty is a safe push in this position now that you shot at the enemy, because you have a guy in front of you. You actually have 2 guys in front of you, and you have the guy behind you in the tower. I would just bail from this, go to the buy station to your west, get UAV up, and then start hunting down kills on that. You could always gatekeep these people, which is a huge probability. But again, get on the top floor, get the high ground, and shoot at these guys as they're crossing, and then rotate. All right, what I would do in this position is we have a guy right here, of course, and we have the guy that bailed out towards the tent. So we know there's two people over here. They may kill each other off. That's fine. So you should be able to get a couple kills at least, right? So the circle's coming towards you. These guys have to move out in the open towards you. There's no reason to push yourself out there. So I love the fact that he bailed away from the bounty and he's just sitting here waiting for these guys to come. One thing I would recommend is not mounting in this position because you've already pissed off the guy that's over here. While you're focused on him, he could wrap around and get some easy headshots on you if he's got a Car 98 or even the new sniper rifle. I would definitely avoid mounting once you've already shot at the enemy. Now, once these guys do cross in the open and you get the easy kills, you need to quickly rotate to the buy station so you can grab you another UAV and start focusing on getting a better position, because it looks like the circle's gonna be finishing on the hill and you're really gonna want to know where enemies are at once you have to start pushing up that hill. Now, mounting is a great technique. It's a great tool to utilize. I'm not saying don't ever mount, but there's certain situations I highly recommend not mounting. Unfortunately, that dude's going to be going down below, so he's going to be coming up, well, kind of behind you. He's got a position now to gatekeep you, which is very unfortunate. This guy here, he clearly went downstairs to out-rotate you, and I think he may have. There's no way he made it that far that fast. I would still stay focused on the south, try to see if we can find this guy. He's still over there. There's no way he out-rotated you. I wouldn't give him on the fight just yet. The circle hadn't even pushed him out the tents, and you already turned your back on it. I 100% believe he's still there. And now he's in a position to get safe relatively quick. There he is shooting. He's in the fight with the tower right now, actually. And you also passed up the buy station, which is also unfortunate. So now you're having to focus on the next circle, blinded, honestly. And you've pissed off two people. And you got the boy in the tower behind you. So you're going to have three enemies, not really knowing exactly where they're at. Two enemies. All right, so when there's a guy in the house in this position, you have dead silence. Oh, beautiful, dude. Absolute beautiful. Never mind. You already know, bro. I love it. What? Bastard's using a shotgun. I'm glad you killed him. Shit on his face, dude. Shut up. All right, now we're sitting on 11 kills, though, with 10 enemies remaining. I mean, this could possibly be a 20-kill game, but because, you know, you would need 9 of those 10 kills, I would go ahead and just say, you know what, let's just focus on the win at this point, the 20 bomb. Let's talk about the circle real quick, because this is really what's going to dictate the winner of the game. All right, so pushing this in-game circle is going to be extremely difficult. All right, this is the point in the game where we really have to make a decision, right? One of the only ways up, I think the safer way up, is going to be on the hill on this side. When you look at this circle right here, with only, you know, a few seconds left before you're forced to move out, there's no way to get up to the top from this angle. You're on the low ground, you're screwed, you're dead. Even if you kill everybody down here, you lose the game. GG. So at this point right here, seeing this, I mean, I don't know if you have enough time anyway from this point to rotate, but I definitely would still try. You got a gas mask, I would definitely just get the hell out of here. Rotate on the southwest side of the hill and work your way up. Right there by the tunnel, there's a little jump you could do to get on top of the hill, or you can go under the tunnel. That's going to be very risky. And then climb up the hill from the other side. Again, that's really risky. I would just do a little jump from the entrance of the hill onto the top and then work my way on the high ground. Again, if you're super focused on these fights right here, you're not going to survive. Not to mention the fact that the sniper's on the right-hand side and we're so tunneled on the building in front of us. This gives me anxiety, I'm not gonna lie. Not to mention, again, just like I was telling you, behind you, no fucking way, bro. No, don't play right now. No effing way, bro. Holy hell, how did he allow you to do that? How did he allow you to do that to him? Jeez. Wow. All right, but now you're about to see exactly what I was talking about with circle rotation. There's nothing he can do from this point. Unless he got some kind of jetpack from the buy station. This is a GG, bros. You can chalk this one up. And again, don't feel bad. People fall into this a lot. You know, people focus on the kills more than anything, and then they end up in positions like this where they're on a pretty decent game. and then they technically throw because they didn't focus on position before they focused on kills. One thing I always try to tell you guys is it's all about winning. You can get 30 kills a game all you want, but if you don't win those games, how is that going to help you in any way, shape, or form? It's not going to. Now, there's a lot of people down here, which is weird. If you could somehow get all the kills and win the game from this position, I'll be mind blown. But as you see by the mini-map, you've got to rotate to an impossible position. So I hope that the other 5 enemies are down here with you, brother. At this point, again, there's just really nothing you can do. Oh, shit. Oh, oh. There's a lot of people down there. Oh. Hate to see it, bro. Killer Man, thank you for sending me the video. I really hope everybody enjoyed the breakdown. Again, I feel like there were a lot of lessons learned in here. We talked about sensitivity, we talked about when to push fights, we talked about wasting time, we talked about circle rotation, which was extremely important, especially at the end. Again, one thing I want you to focus on is just try to stop wasting too much time gunfighting. You had 12 kills at the end of the game. I really believe you could have probably had 15, 16 by that point if you would have just fought fast, got in, got out, and went to the next person. I know some buildings are a lot harder to push than the others, and you have to take your time and come up with a decision. I understand that, and that's fine. Just try to slowly speed up the decision-making process. That way you can push more efficiently and get those 20 kill games that everyone's thriving for. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure you do so and leave a like on the video. Thank you guys for watching. Y'all have a good one. Until next time, boys, good luck in Warzone. Thank you for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you check out one of my favorite videos over here. And as always, subscribe by clicking the button over my left-hand shoulder. Y'all have a good one and keep on improving.